Imagine you move from a place where you lived all your life. Imagine you move and you leave all your children and wife. Starting all over again, but no one you know is around. Well, they didn't have to imagine. They built it up from the ground. How does it sound? Not easy cause it isn't. Could have phased them, but it didn't. But the Ray Bond, that's a winner. And they ran straight to the finish. You get to know them up close and personal. Wait, just give me a minute. Welcome to the front row. Can I get a drum roll? Intentional. We may be immigrants, but we are still intentional. We are dependable. It's just that set the bar, but still the best of all, we are intentional.
Welcome to the Intentional Immigrants podcast and channel. I am your host, Yolanda Jack. To continue with our financial literacy empowerment series, we will be talking with Dennise Williams of Financially Focused. Denise is a financial coach who provides financial coaching for persons who need help in recovering from debt and to repair their credit, especially in the Caribbean environment. So Denise is the go-to person if you need help in one, making a financial plan, as well as if you need help in recovering or repairing your credit. Before Denise comes to us, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Intentional Immigrants podcast and channel. The podcast can be found on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Podbean. It is also available on Instagram. The YouTube channel is available as well. And we also have a website, which is www.intentionalimmigrants.com. Here's to your financial literacy and empowerment. Let's listen to Denise. Hi, Denise. Welcome to the Intentional Immigrants podcast and channel. I'm so delighted that you're able to join me here today.
Thank you.
All right, Denise, tell us a little bit about your role as it relates to Caribbean credit and credit repair. What's your role regarding that?
Okay, well, my role actually started a couple of years when I got a call from the bank to say, oh, congratulations on your wedding. You need to come and pay your credit card. And at the time I was married and I didn't recall nobody else proposing. So I said, let me run down to the bank and find out what is happening. It apparently someone else named Dennise Williams had, my card had been cloned and they had gone and booked the wedding chapel, pay for the wedding dress, pay for the North Coast Hotel. Looked like they paid for the catering, the food by going to the supermarket. And I mean, just some massive bills did drop on my credit card. Mm-hmm. So the good thing was that because I disputed everything and I literally showed them that here I spent $10 at the supermarket. Here's a bill for $100. This is not my normal spending. And the credit card froze the card. I mean, the bank froze the card. And then the good thing is that the hotel had asked for proof of identification. And so although her name was Dennise Williams, our name wasn't spelled the same. Mm-hmm. And we had different ID numbers. So that further proved that it was not me. However, while the bank did, they reissued a new card, wiped off the bill. What had happened is since 2011, Jamaica is under the Credit Reporting Act. Okay. And what I didn't know at the time, and I was introduced in a very hard way, was that your credit report, there are 3 companies tracking right now about 1.5 million Jamaicans. And most people don't realize they're being tracked. Every credit activity, from your light bill, your phone bill, your credit cards, your mortgage, you name it, is being reported every month.
Okay.
Student loans, everything. And so what happened to me was that even though the bank had reversed the charges and such, and I didn't owe the money, I was still a delinquent in my credit report.
Okay.
And so when I had to go and pull my credit report and realize I had 62 pages of credit report.
62.
What caused that? Well, prior to that, and more than likely, this is why my credit card was a candidate to be cloned. I have a child with a disability. And so when he was born, I was constantly between the pharmacy, the therapist, just all kind of medical jugglings I was doing. So the companies that didn't take cash, I have to use a credit card, or who didn't take credit card, use cash, and they use the credit card to go to the supermarket. And I was just doing this crazy dance, which, as I said, opened the door for someone to defraud me. And it actually took me a year to clear my name with the 3 credit bureaus because, again, at the time, Jamaica did not have a company that could help you. People don't appreciate, like in how they do in the US, that your credit is your asset. That opens the door. If you have excellent credit, you can get your dream car, dream house, dream education, whatever, in 6 months, as opposed to saving for 20 years. And so because that sensitivity is still not there, there wasn't help. So I had to do it myself, but it educated me and it really put me on the path as to where I am now, helping other people navigate their own nightmare. And in fact, it really led me now. I'm an approved counselor with the Office of the Supervisor of Insolvency, a pretty word for bankruptcy. And I am the financial coach that signs off on the report before the judge allows you to declare bankruptcy and have all your debts wiped off. Yes.
Okay, so you have to give approval first.
Yeah, I have to give a report. Not necessarily approval, but a report, because they want to know if the person, they don't want the person to come back for bankruptcy, right? You want it to just happen once and never again. So the report is really looking at, does the person have the support system in place to help them understand how to manage money? And sometimes there are emotional issues that come up. So, for example, I've had cases where someone the reason he declared bankruptcy is he was juggling 3 different families. And so the question is, why do you need to have 3 families? And that becomes more of an emotional question than a financial question. So.
Okay. So our behaviors lead to our financial decisions, you're saying?
Absolutely. There's no emotions lead. Your money is a function of your emotions. If you can't control your emotions, you more than likely can't control your money.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you for that. All right, so if somebody, you said that their light bill, water bill, all their bills.
Every single bill, yes.
Everything is being tracked.
Everything, every month.
Every month. And this has been happening for the last 11 years, you said?
Yes, so since 2011, the Credit Reporting Act was passed in 2011, and this was done because the financial institutions, the bank, the hire purchase, they needed a way to avoid persons not paying back their money.
Okay.
So the banks were protecting themselves. So my money that I lend you, if you can just go away, there's no protection for me. So for persons who may remember, the Student Loan Bureau used to run Faces of Delinquency campaign in which borrowers who stopped paying, their photo would be placed in the newspaper. Because a lot of people would borrow student loan and then just leave Jamaica and live their life wherever, and who cares? Now, since 2011, that's not the case. Your credit report stays with you for the rest of your life. Now, somebody who's saying, oh, I'm never coming back to Jamaica, I don't care. Well, you know, I would think about that carefully, because you want to avoid any kind of issues. Because a lot, what you find, let me tell you, when someone makes a decision to say they're going to buy land or buy a house or such, if you have your cash, you're good. If you need to borrow, you may find that a US-based bank may not lend to buy in Jamaica. Or if you are leaving Jamaica and you need to establish credit, they're going to ask you for a copy of your Jamaican credit report. And so that information does travel in both directions.
Okay.
So it may not be worth it to you to run away and pretend it doesn't exist.
It will follow you.
It will.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the debt consolidation.
So debt consolidation, when you have a financial coach, when you have a accountability partner, is one of the greatest ways to get rid of debt confusion, because you borrow here, you borrow there, you borrow, and so the consolidation brings it all together. And so in order to avoid future troubles, when you have your financial coach and you have a consolidation plan, now you have somebody to keep you on track, right? And you're changing your behavior because you have an accountability partner as a financial coach who is trained in financial literacy and can guide you. Now, if your accountability is your cousin who just called you for say, hey, you pay the money, that's not going to really change your behavior. So for my clients, I use a software called Wi-Fi, and we track 8 different areas of your financial behavior. So we track your assets, we track your investments, we track emergency savings, regular savings, we track your dreams and goals, that the dollar value of the dreams and goals, because that goes into the software. We track your debt, we track your expenses, and we track your income. So those are the 8 areas that we track as your accountability partner. So that means if 8 areas we're going to decide which one is the most pressing. Is it your debt, or is it your income, or is it your assets, whatever, is it your investments? So because we have 8 areas that we're tracking, every time we meet, whether weekly or monthly, we now can say, okay, what have you done to increase your income, for example? So if you come to me and you have one salary and you're saying, listen, this one salary not cutting it, then now we're going to work on what is it that you need to do? What are the 8 areas? The areas that you can look at. Do you need to go and take a course on baking a cake, right? Do you need to take a second job? What is it? Do you need to go and, learn how to sell so you can sell Avon? What is it that you need to do? And we would work on that. So when you're doing that work, plus debt consolidation, all of a sudden your life, you lift to the next level of your life, okay? Because most people don't have somebody with them to make sure the 8 areas of their life work. Most people, they're pretty much on their own, or is blind leading the blind. So your spouse don't have no financial education, you don't have no financial, and the two of you are trying to make it work, okay? So that's when debt consolidation works. Because I work with the bankruptcy office, I can tell you debt consolidation is the gateway to bankruptcy. I say that without fear or favor. Every single case file that comes across my desk right before people give up and decide to declare bankruptcy, they would have done at least 2 debt consolidations. Okay? It doesn't work without support. So what happened was in 2015, under the new Bankruptcy Act. So what happened was Jamaica would have taken the bankruptcy laws from England. And English bankruptcy law does have an element of prison when you don't pay. So they abolished that in terms of you get 1 free, no problem bankruptcy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so part of the deal is that you must get financial coaching.
Okay.
So
they pay for this?
You pay for it, but it is so discounted that it's like people don't even feel it. It's so cheap. And so because the point is that you've hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You understand? So because you've hit rock bottom, you know, the reason they get you to pay a little bit of money is so that you understand the value, but you're not really paying, as I said, you're not even paying probably not even 5% of the real value. But as I said, you hit rock bottom. So in order to bring you up. So I find on average, my clients need about 30 sessions because it's a lot of unhelpful habits that people need to unwind. But the law says that they'll get 6. So we do 6 sessions and try to unwind and get them on the right path. But it's really a willingness to change your life. Get out of bankruptcy, to move from debt is a burden to debt is a tool. It's a brand new mindset. It's a brand new way. You would have put yourself in a situation where you want to avoid future troubles. You want to get rid of financial behavior that don't support you, right? You make up your mind to work with people who are reputable and have references. You've made up your mind that you know the path you want to take. You have the vision of your life. And in all of that, that is how you would say, all right, I am going to work with a financial coach and decide. Most of the time, people say, oh, I can't bother pay for a financial coach. And they look at what it's going to cost them. They don't look at how their life changes. Because it's hard to see. And I confess, it's hard to see the dramatic change until you're in it. Until you understand? So, and why is that hard to see? I believe seeing future troubles, moving away from problems means that you're going to have to say no to a lot of people that you love. And saying no to them is very hard. You know, putting yourself first is a choice you have to make. And it is very difficult to, people don't want to avoid the emotional, ickiness as you step to a higher level. So that's, I think, is one of the reasons, financial coaching becomes a heavy idea, right? Because there's people you love. There's people that you feel like you want to them in your life for the rest of your life. You don't want to make changes. You know what I mean? That's one. The second thing is that financial planning, financial coaching, financial literacy, it's a process. You go from step 1, organization, step 2, putting on dollar value dreams, step 3, reducing your expenses, step 4, increasing your income, step 5, shifting your mindset, step 6, learning new skills. For a lot of people, doing that process, again, means you're going to have different conversations with
hard conversations
in your community. you're becoming a new person. Question is it worth it? Is becoming a new person worth it to avoid problems down the road? Because I can tell you, I have a client 77 years old, and her thing is she goes to the doctor and she's so healthy, right? She's super healthy. So she's very athletic. She, exercise, all of that, except that she freezes out when it comes to money. She doesn't act. And so over the years, she was smart enough to add an addition to her house. She was smart enough to pay off her mortgage so she don't owe on her house. But that was it. She didn't have any guidance to do anything else. And therefore, that's all her only income. She doesn't have a pension. And her tenant is her only source of income. Excuse me. So she has to shrink her life to what the tenant can afford. And if the tenant ever late, so she late on her light bill, she late on her water bill, she at the supermarket that week. And yet she will say, I did all the right things. And yes, you did. Without support, without accountability. And then she said her 3 children are all in the same boat, right? They are just scraping by, and 2 are in the US and 1 is in England. And they are pretty much copying her relationship with money. So you literally train your children looking, so the financial coaching, the accountability that I do for persons is 8 areas. So we're looking at investments, we're looking at your assets, we're looking at your long-term savings, your emergency savings, we're looking at the dollar value of your dreams, okay, and your goals. We're looking at your debt, we're looking at your expenses, and we're looking at your income. A lot of times, whether you are in debt, or let's say you're moving back home, or you're in Jamaica moving to the US. So in any direction you want to go, to the US, back from the US, any direction. If you're in debt, not in debt, don't matter. Those 8 areas are our umbrella, and they help you to avoid future troubles, and they give you the process. So once you have picked the 8 area, one of the 8, we look at all 8. And then you will know which one is the most important to you.
Okay.
And let us say you want to do your income. Well, there are many options as we've discussed. And so what we then do is say, all right, what is the first step? What is the second step? What is the third step? Sometimes the very first step, so you brought me on as your coach, you've hired me. And sometimes the very first step, after we organize your money and we know, because guess what happened? It's when you see it on the computer screen, you see these 8 areas lined out, it's easier to have the conversation with your spouse, your family. It's easier for you to plan out, say, listen, I really either need a new job or a paying, right? In the job I want to stay. Or I need to map out how I'm going to earn more income. Of course, a beautiful thing about this online world is your income is a function of your mindset. So for example, summer is coming up and you have a teenager who they're on the internet all the time. They're gonna play a game, they're gonna go on Facebook, and they're just skylark, as we old people would say. And they're skylarking, but they have an understanding of the digital world. Them gone in the metaverse. You scratch your head, wow, what that's right? And they have moved in and packed them bags. Because why? Remember, the metaverse is really the world created by video games, And the video games, people now just pretty much live there. So instead of just play a video game, why not go to a music concert there? Why not get married and build a house there? Yeah. So that's all the metaverse is, right? So most of these kids are sensitized to the metaverse through video games. So them did it already. Mm-hmm. What happens though is how do they make money in the metaverse? Okay. So as I remember when I was sharing my story about my 77-year-old client who has given her children all of her bad financial abilities. Mm-hmm. So she didn't look down the road and say, boy, I am struggling. Let me not have my children struggle.
Struggle as well.
Okay. So as I said, so for example, we talk about income, but usually, the reason I'm struggling with my income is because my parents taught me how to struggle. They've never avoided me not struggling. So a lot of people have decided, okay, guess what? We're into this meta world. I don't understand, but I want my children to understand. I want my children to learn. I want to make money. And so there are training programs that teach these children how to trade cryptocurrency, how to trade Forex, how to do all of that in this. That's what they take their son and do. So they're learning that. So parents make the sacrifice and set up their children in that process. Then the parents may say, okay, I need to avoid my pension not being enough. I need to avoid you pour all your money into this property in New York, and then you scrape and you may do the same thing in Jamaica. So you have 2 properties and it's fantastic. You pack up your bag, you travel, you go, you're not staying with no miserable relatives, you're in your space. You still need income, okay? Because that's fantastic. But as we have experienced in the last 2 years, the price of things move. Mm-hmm. So for a lot of my clients, they're not scraping the bottom. They have property. They have a career, okay? What they don't have is the what next. The what next is a process of saying, I need to learn something new. I can share with you, there's a client who, let me tell you, it's important to know yourself. If you're somebody who don't like change, and there are people documented who can change maybe every 15 to 25 years, they make a change. Okay, it is a thing, right? Yes, they have people like me with skin scratch, and them need to make a change every 1 to 2 years, right? They have the 2 end of the scale. If you know where you fall. You see what happens though is for someone who, like as I said, one of my clients who cannot make a change until every 15 to 25 years. You see, when change lick you down, because you don't want change, but change the business with your timetable. Okay? Yeah. And what happened? What happened was that she went to bed Friday night, went about her business Saturday. Sunday, she saw her job advertised in the paper. And she is quietly and slowly falling apart because psychologically, okay, listen, there's some behaviors we have that's inside our spine. And when you meet somebody, you can't change them no matter what. Okay. So people who resist change, they can change, and it's literally documented in the psychology literature. Yeah. Right? 15 to 25 years, they can make a change. And then they need another 15 to make another change, right? When you have that challenge, at them time, then you need a coach because you are literally being forced. Somebody kick you into change. And that's not what you want. Okay, you don't want it. You couldn't prevent it because since you don't like change, you not see what's happening around. You're not seeing the signs. Somebody else will tell you, say you're in problems, say you're going down the wrong road, say you need to avoid this problem. You can't see. You literally cannot see because your brain is not wired for frequent change.
Yeah.
Then you have another client, as I said, who's very similar to me. Every 1 to 2 years, she needs a new big project. She casts it on. You also need a financial coach because when you like change, when you like rapid change, you may not see the danger. So you need another pair of eyes, okay, to see the danger. And it's not like you don't know it's danger, because you love to do this and you love to start a new project and you love to, but you need another pair of eyes. And so again, this is why whether my client is very slow or very fast, when we do the 8 categories, when we analyze those 8 areas of your money, you now can say A, B, or C, because only really you know what is important to you. But the critical thing is my job is to get organized to avoid future trouble. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So that if you need slow change in a fast-paced environment, we have to figure out how you can stomach it, because you have to stomach it. It's not a choice, right? But you have to acknowledge. And so we take it as in a procedure. We go step 1, step 2, step 3, so that you can create a new vision, listen to the right advice, right? For other people. So I am not a real estate agent. I'm not a construction person. I'm not. So, you link up with those people if that's where you're going. I'm not, you need a career person, you link up with that person. And so in that regard, you then have the step by step behavior that will give you the support you need. Now, I am not limited to Jamaica. My clients, in fact, most of my clients are not in Jamaica. And my bankruptcy clients are in Jamaica, of course, but the coaching, the hand-holding, those clients are not in Jamaica. So you can Financially Focus is my company, and you can, drop me an email, financiallyfocusedtv@gmail.com, and then I will send you the link. We can make an appointment to have a conversation about how I can help you to, go forward and create the step by step process. Now, as I said, a lot of people though will say, "Oh Lord, I cannot pay for coaching, it's expensive and it's this and that." Well, I have 2 suggestions for you. The first is to get organized with your money. So at bottom, spend $10 a month on yourself. So that's the subscription cost to the website or the organization. So if you do it yourself, type Wi-Fi, I can still send you the link. It's $8.99, so less than $10 US a month. And you can put in your information. You will still see all 8 areas of your financial life. And then you can make the decisions that you see fit to avoid future troubles, right? The second thing I would say to anyone, regardless of your financial situation, learn how to have another source of income. I think that's so super critical. I am working in partnership with the University of the Caribbean Commonwealth. We are hosting a 4-week free referral marketing training, right? And so we are bringing in experts who make their living referring products. So one of our guests, and it's across different industries, so that you can't say it's just one thing. So we have a lady who does medical equipment sales, right? So she's gonna tell you how you're gonna refer X-ray machine and whatever to hospitals, right? Okay. Then you have a real estate person. So again, he refers apartments and buildings and land and this and that to people. So you see, there's literally no connection to medical sales, but it's still referral marketing.
Okay.
We have 2 network marketers. One gentleman is Jacob Mickle. He has made 11 million US in 20 years just referring companies and getting a commission. Then, which is what I'm the most excited about, is UCC itself, the University of the Caribbean Commonwealth. They have a referral program. And of course, it's in Jamaican dollars, but think about it this way. It is so, they basically copied Harvard and Wharton University. I hope everybody's familiar with those 2 big time Ivy League university. They copied their referral program. They're literally the only university in the West Indies, the Caribbean, that does it. So how does it work? You sign up for the university's referral link. Everybody who signs up under your link, you get between 30,000 Jamaican dollars and 45,000 Jamaican dollars. And imagine, let's do the math. If you were to sign up, you or your family, the family decides to help you, and everybody used your link, and 23 people signed up under your link, 1 million Jamaican dollars would go towards your tuition, or you get the cash in hand. Either way.
Okay, cool.
So that's fantastic. But here's what's more fantastic. The 4-week training program is going to teach you how to get over your shyness, how to get over the being an introvert, like to chat to people, how to go out and talk to people about your link. Okay. Not only will you get the university's link, you're going to get a portfolio. So if you like beauty, there'll be beauty products you can recommend. If you like technology, there'll be technology. You like real estate, there will be real estate products. Literally, you can create your career earning income by referring links to your network. And they will train you how to do it. And then, even more incredible, the speakers have all agreed to do an additional 4 weeks of mentorship for the persons who want to work with them. So they're going to give you work to do. So maybe the real estate person are going to get you to go, they're going to look rental or whatever. And the medical person may send you to the hospital to go say hi to the doctor. Whatever it is to get you over your shyness and to help you feel comfortable sharing the information so that you can earn this income. And the university is not charging anyone for that. So I just think it's one of the most amazing things I've come across. I'm so happy to be a part of it. And I really think of it as a big part of my financial coaching, because earning an income is the difference between breathing easy, sleeping at night, and people wake up 2 o'clock in the morning and can't sleep because they don't know where this money coming from to cover their bills. So I think it's such an incredible outreach program by the university. So those are the 2 things I would say to people. Sign up for WiseFi, get financially organized, $8.99 US a month. And then sign up for free referral marketing training so you can learn a new way to earn income.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Denise. It was my pleasure having you today.
Okay.
For how would someone, say in the US or Canada, overseas, how would they get in touch with you?
Financially focused TV@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Okay. All right. Thank you. And thank you for looking out for the rest of us.
I mean, I went through it and there was nobody to help. Literally. Yeah, I'm very sensitive to that.
Yeah, it's a passion. It's on your heart, right?
Yes, very much. Very much.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Denise.
You are so welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to the Intentional Immigrants podcast and channel. Thank you to the following persons who made today's episode possible. Dennise Williams of Financially Focused, today's guest. Xavier Anderson for providing music. As always, I am your host, Yolanda Jack, reminding you, he who watches the wind will not sow. He who watches the clouds will not reap. Ecclesiastes 11 and verse 4. You were born for greatness. Step out into your greatness so that mankind can benefit from you being here. So long, until next time.
Intentional. We may be immigrants, but we are still intentional. We are dependable. It's just that